So I am huge on one-stop closes, but no matter who you are, no matter how good you are, you're going to have situations where you're going to do some sort of follow-up. Somebody's going to want to set an appointment. That's going to happen. There's a lot of deals in it. I just want to make sure and teach you little tricks on how to set qualified appointments so that you're not just running around doing what's called chasing deals. Again, going back to how valuable you are, you need to treat it that way. And if you treat your own schedule like it revolves around everyone else, then they won't see you as credible or important enough to respect your time. Okay, somebody who's really busy and doing a lot of installs and also has other appointments and people that are interested and paperwork to complete, their schedules are not wide open. So you don't want to make it sound like, oh yeah, I can come back. What day of the week and what time works for you? My schedule's too busy for that, okay? And we're going to plant the seed much better, but still being respectable that they're busy as well. Okay, we're both busy. And we want to find that mutual middle that works for both of us. But in this case, I'm the one that's saving you $10, $15, $30, $40,000 a year. You're not putting that money in my pockets. So I understand that I'm bringing a lot of value trying to meet in the middle to figure out a time. So here's some basics of setting qualified appointments. So it's one thing for a merchant to know you're working the area today and be willing to commit to a time today, right? Like when I worked in Los Angeles, if I'm working Van Nuys, that's a really busy street. They know that I'm working Van Nuys today. Obviously, I'm going to be in the area today. That's one thing. But it's another for them to expect me to be available tomorrow or any other day later in this week, or even worse, next week, just because it fits their schedule. I hope you can see the difference. If they want me to come back today knowing I'm doing door to door on this busy street and I'm going to be here, that'd be kind of rude to be like, no, I can't come back in an hour from now. But to expect me to be available tomorrow or 3, 4, 5, 7 days later, that's just like, hey, you don't have a life, you don't have anything to do, work around me. Okay, so you've got to find the middle, because the truth is, like we said, valuable people are busy. You should have clients that need you to finish up paperwork. You should be doing installs. You have Zoom calls. You have things going on, and you're running a business as well. And you don't want to just act this. You want to be a salesperson who is getting clients and has clients to attend to, aka installs. You should be too busy. If they say, can you come back tomorrow at 9 a.m.? No, tomorrow I'm doing installs from 9 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Where a desperate person that's just desperate for a sale will say things like, sure, whatever time works for you. And even though these things seem harmless, it just devalues you. It devalues your time. And trust me, people won't make it to a lot of these appointments. And when you come back, you are now just a salesperson that's trying to make a sale rather than a business person who's busy and has shit to do. So we want to build that mutual respect. So this slide is lines that I use to create that mutual respect and commit to an appointment today. Okay, I do not want to set up a follow-up tomorrow. I certainly don't want to set one up for 2 days from now. And I certainly don't want to set one up and will not set one up for next week. Okay, I want my appointment, if I'm going to do an appointment, to be today at all costs, if at all possible. So I'm going to tell them things like, well, hey, obviously we're both really busy. You're running a business, I'm running a business, and we both understand how important this is if I can put thousands of dollars back in your business. So what would work best is let's meet a little bit later on today while I'm still working this Van Nuys Boulevard or while I'm still in the area. And nobody wants to do business with somebody who's not doing business with others. So I'm going to use greed in setting appointments. I'm going to use that Jones effect. Things like, I'll be finishing up with ABC Liquor down the street. I don't know if you know John, but I'm wrapping up with him at 3:30. As soon as I finish that, I could probably swing back by because it's only a couple blocks away. Roughly around 4 o'clock when I finish up with John, can you make yourself available to be here? And when you're on a roll and you're doing really well in a town or in an area, this last one is money because it's true. If you can get some momentum going, you let them know, because today is when all the new accounts wrap everything up. Like today's the day that I sign people up. The rest of the week, I'm actually doing the installs. So I'll be tied up in terms of, it's coming out just doing paperwork. So since today is my day to actually get the new business signed up and get the terminals ready, so what are you thinking? How much time do you need here? Like another hour, and then you'll be able to commit 5 minutes to see if this is a good fit for you? If after we meet in an hour from now, you decide this is something you want to do, then I'll be back in a couple days, but it won't be to do paperwork. It's going to be to doing the install. But before we even get there, how much time are you talking? You want me to come back like an hour or like in 2 hours? And I'm always asking either or questions. Does 9 o'clock work better? Or do you prefer more like lunchtime, like 1 o'clock? Are we talking 1 hour or should I come back in 2 hours? I'm always given either or options. I'm never just giving them one time that they could say no. And those are great ways to get them to commit to today. Okay, I'm telling you, as time goes on, they get colder. We're going to talk about that in this lesson. And not everyone is going to bite on setting the appointment today. Maybe they legit are leaving the business today and they've got their little kid's baseball game and they're not coming back, right? That person, you're not going to be able to convince them to come back at a certain time today. They are occupied. So when things like that come up, we're not trying to make it a now or never scenario. We initially want it to be today. We kind of make that the only option. If today is not a possibility for them, we don't want to close the door on our own foot so that we can never come back by pushing too hard on today. So if somebody's not available today, I'll go backwards a little bit and say, hey, I'm not saying it's now or never. It's just that my schedule is pretty crazy. I do want to do business with you if it's at all possible. So I'm not even saying I can tomorrow morning, no promises, but if I could fit it in my schedule tomorrow morning, would we be able to make that work? Say like 8 o'clock? By doing this, I'm making it me going out of my way. I'm not just asking, would 8 o'clock work? I want to create some value in myself. I also want them to know that I'll go out of my way for my merchants. I value your business. I want to do business with you. It's just a schedule is a schedule. I'm trying to figure out how I can fit it in, but I'm going to because I want to do business with you or at least potentially do business with you. Okay, so I'm not even promising I can, but if I could, would you? If they say yes, now just make it a firm commitment. Back out of that, I don't know if I can, but if I could, would you? And just say, you know what? Let's just lock it in. But you must make it solid. Meaning, okay, I can squeeze that in, but just to confirm, because I don't want to run around town for nothing. I don't want to waste time. And if I can show you how to eliminate those processing fees, just to confirm, you are interested and will give me the time when I come back tomorrow, correct? I mean, I don't want to just blow this off today and then you're not interested. If you're actually interested, I'll make it fit into my schedule. So I'd rather get a no now if you're legit not interested. And if they're interested, they're going to be like, no, I'm interested. Yes, come back. All right, perfect. Solid appointment. You've got your first appointment tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in this example. I'm telling you, they are going to value that appointment so much more when you do these things and make it like you're going out of your way. I want to earn your business. I'm a busy person. I respect that you're busy. I'm just asking for that same respect in return. How do we make this work? You're making a deal. This stuff works in terms of them showing up and actually being committed to giving you a couple of minutes, which is all that we're asking for. We're not asking for them to say yes. We're just saying you are interested, right? I don't want to come back if you're not interested. I'd rather just know now. That's it. Because if you're going to set appointments, you need to qualify them and get a yes, I'm interested and will give you time when you come back from the merchants. It's too easy for merchants to say, I'm busy. Can you come back? And you say, yeah. How about tomorrow morning? Will you be here? Yeah, I'll be here. All right, perfect. I'll see you then. If you do that, okay, that's not an appointment. They're not going to be any more interested tomorrow than they were right now. If you're lucky, they might actually give you some time, but that's not an appointment. Okay, so you don't need them to overcommit. You're not committing them to signing up if you come back. You just need to know that they are interested and are willing to commit the time to you. They're going to block out a couple of minutes, sit down and hear you out. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for a commitment that they're going to sign up. And this is a big thing that new people are afraid to do, but it's okay to make it really, really clear and say things like, I'd rather just know if you're not interested now. So I just want to be clear. If I'm going to do you the favor by making you fit into my schedule, you are going to actually sit down and you are interested in getting rid of those fees potentially, and I'm going to break down how, correct? It's okay to qualify them to that level. You actually need to qualify them to that level so that you're not wasting production hours tomorrow or other days chasing deals around when you could go out finding new targets. If they're not a target, don't set an appointment with them. they're not going to be a target next time if they're not a target when they set the appointment, okay? And there's one last layer of a really qualified appointment if you have to do this. In this case, it's usually if they've already been pitched cash discount and they're really interested and they legit don't have time. They just for some reason have to bounce out the door. They're like, I'm totally into getting rid of my fees. If you can do what you just said, I'm in, but I've got to get out the door. So the one time that I am going to promote proposals in this whole training course is this right here. When somebody can't get over cash discount, but they may be open to hybrid or they still are open to saving money even on traditional, that's where we say, all right, if you have a statement, I can get that. I'll have a proposal done here in the next 30 minutes. How about I stop back by in 30 minutes and I'll go over the proposal with you. If they need to delay the appointment, then you're right back to the top and you're setting a qualified appointment, this time with the intention of coming back with a document to go over numbers with them. Folks, this video is critically important if you're going to do appointments, because if you don't qualify them properly, you will spend too much time chasing deals. Chasing deals is when you're going to people that aren't really targets to begin with, and they put you off and they gave you some objection or they gave you some excuse on why they can't talk right now, and you didn't set a qualified appointment. So then when you come back, they're still not interested. And you just wasted a bunch of time setting appointments and thinking you have follow-up with people that were never potential targets to begin with, okay? Only set appointments with potential merchants and targets. You're not going to make them a target if they weren't from the beginning. So I hope that video helps you and saves you a lot of time from chasing deals and sets up a bunch of qualified appointments, because there is a ton of deals in going back and doing a little bit of follow-up. And the last thing that I want to go over is when you do go back to your appointments, it's even more important to get the deal today. I teach people how to one-stop close, but again, with appointments, there's tons of deals in it, but you've got to respect that it's now the second time that you visited. It's not the first time anymore. So if they can't make a decision on the first and second visit, the odds that you're starting to chase this deal increases significantly. Every time that you visit the merchant and you set the next appointment, your odds of closing it go down drastically. Not like a little bit, they go down drastically. That's why I'm a one-stop closer, because I know if I don't get the deal today while they're interested, my odds of getting it tomorrow go down like 90%. It's not a little bit, it's a huge amount. So that's why I say strike when the iron's hot. I'm teaching people to be one-stop closers whenever it's possible, because if they're interested in doing it and they're throwing little objections and reasons why they can't now and why I need to, wait till tomorrow, that's not true. Whatever their concerns are, we can handle them today. And even if they're so hot, they say, I love it, I'm going to sign up tomorrow. Can you come back at 9 o'clock? You can come back at 9 o'clock, and between when you left and 9 a.m., you don't know what's happening in their head. They could go home and lay their head on the pillow and realize, like, wait a second, I'm in a lease, or hold on a second, I can't do that. Or they get the mail and they get some offer from some other company that's charging 3.75% instead of 4%. And then they're battling you on these little percentages. Seriously, you don't know what's going to happen. So if they are hot, go for it today. Whether it's a one-stop close or your second visit. But I'm telling you, you start getting to that third and fourth and fifth visit, your odds are going down every single time that you don't create enough impulse to get the deal today.